Shalom. What if the closer you stand to the Creator, the narrower your options become? Leviticus 21 shows how the priests' mourning, marriages, and even bodies had to reflect the holiness of the Creator they served. Shalom and welcome to SAX Music Torah Studio, where we worship with sax and walk in Torah. Today we're in Leviticus 21, where the Holy One raises the standard for the sons of Aharon, how they handle death, who they marry, and who may approach the altar, because they live closest to His presence. If you ever wondered why those who minister near the Creator need different boundaries, stay with this chapter and walk through it with me. We're going to go to Leviticus chapter 21. We'll start with verses 1 through to 9. And the Creator said to Moshe, "Speak to the priests, the sons of Aaron, and say to them, no one is to be defiled for the dead among his people, except for his relatives who are nearest to him, for his mother and for his father, and for his son and for his daughter and for his brother, and for his maiden sister who is near to him, who has had no husband, for her he is defiled. A leader does not defile himself among his people to profane himself. They do not make any bald place on their heads, and they do not shave the corner of their beard, and they do not make a cutting in their flesh. They are set apart to their Elohim, and do not profane the name of their Elohim, for they bring the fire offerings of the Creator, and the bread of their Elohim, and shall be set apart. They do not take a woman who is a whore or a defiled woman, and they do not take a woman put away from her husband, for he is set apart to his Elohim. And you shall set him apart, for he brings the bread of your Elohim. He is set apart to you, for I, the Creator, setting you apart, am set apart." So here we're seeing the commandments of the Creator. Priests not to defile themselves for the dead except for very close family, like mother, father, son, daughter, brother, unmarried sister. No pagan mourning signs like shaving the head, cutting the beard edges, or cutting their bodies. They must be holy to the Creator, because they present the offerings and bread of the Creator. Marriage, not with a prostitute, defiled woman, or a divorced woman. They are to marry a virgin of their own people. A priest's daughter who becomes a prostitute profanes her father and is to be burned with fire. And that is serious. So these verses actually limit how priests mourn and whom they marry, because their public life must match the holiness of the Creator they stand before. Imagine a priest whose relative dies. The whole village tears clothing, cuts hair, and marks their bodies in extreme grief. But he holds back. He can mourn only for his nearest family, and even he must refuse the dramatic customs of the nations around him. Or think of him choosing a wife. He cannot choose following his feelings. He has to ask, will this union reflect the holiness of my calling? Most of us are not sons of Aaron, but the principle still cuts loose. It cuts close. The more visible our service, the less freedom we have to grieve, speak, or marry like the surrounding culture. When the Creator entrusts you with spiritual influence, your private choices, how you handle pain. How do you handle pain? Who you join your life with. Either affirm or undermine the message you carry. Leviticus 21 shows that holiness reaches into the most human parts of life. Funerals, feelings, and families. The priest's restrictions do not mean the Creator hates emotional romance. They mean nearness demands that even sorrow and love are lived within a set-apart pattern that protects the honor of His name among the people. The closer you stand to the Creator, the less your grief and relationships can look like everyone else's. Leviticus 21 says even sorrow and marriage must be holy. Let's read on from verses 10 through to 15 of Leviticus chapter 21. And the priest and the high priest among his brothers, on whose head the anointing oil was poured, and who is ordained to wear the garments, does not unbind his head, nor tear his garments, nor come near any dead body, nor defile himself for his father or his mother, nor go out of the set apart place, nor profane the set apart place of his Elohim. For the sign of dedication of the anointing oil of his Elohim is upon him. I am the Creator. And let him take a wife in her maidenhood, a widow, or one put away, or a defiled woman, or a whore. These he does not take, but a maiden of his own people he does take as a wife. And he does not profane his offspring among his people, for I am the Creator who sets them apart. And the Creator spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron, no man of your offspring through their generations who has any defect is to draw near to bring the bread of his Elohim. So here we are seeing the high priest's limitations. They're tighter than those of other priests. No ritual signs of grief, no contact with any dead body, and very strict marriage boundaries, because he bears the anointing and enters the innermost presence on behalf of the nation. Picture the day the high priest's own parents dies. Every instinct in him wants to run to the house, touch the body, tear his clothes, sit on the floor with his family. But his calling says, you do not defile yourself, even for father or mother. You remain in the sanctuary because you carry the anointing for all Israel. His personal grief has to bow to his public role as the one who stands before the Creator for the people. When the Creator sets you apart for deeper service, some things are normal for others, become off limits for you. There will be moments when your calling to carry his presence and service people interrupts your right to express grief, pursue certain relationships, or walk away when it hurts. Leviticus 21 invites us to ask, where is the Creator calling me to stay at my post, even when my emotions want to? The three levels, Israel, the priests, the high priest, match the outer court, the holy place, and most holy place. The high priest's narrowed options are a living parable. The closer the access to the Creator's presence, the more concentrated holiness demanded. His life becomes a sign that intimacy with the Holy One is a gift that reshapes everything, not a privilege we use on our own terms. Leviticus 21 shows this. The deeper the access, the narrower the path. The high priest's life says intimacy with the Creator will cost you normal options. Leviticus 21 verses 16 to 24. And the Creator spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to Aaron, saying, No man of your offspring throughout their generations who has any defect is to draw near to bring the bread of his Elohim. For any man who has a defect is not to draw near, a man blind, or one lame, or disfigured, or deformed, a man who has a broken foot or a broken hand, or is a hunchback or a dwarf, or a man who has a defect in his eye, or eczema or a scab, or is a eunuch. No man among the offspring of Aaron the priest who has a defect is to come near to bring the offerings made by fire to the Creator. He has a defect. He does not come near to bring the bread of his Elohim. He does not eat the bread of his Elohim, both the most set apart and the set apart. Only he does not go near the veil or approach the slaughter place because he has a defect, lest he profanes my set apart places, for I am the Creator who sets them apart. Thus Moses spoke to Aaron and his sons and to all the children of Israel. This section does not expel a priest with a defect from the family. He still eats the holy things, but it does bar him from approaching the veil or the altar, because the visible service must reflect wholeness before the Creator. Imagine a young priest who injures his leg badly or is born with a visible deformity. He trains, knows rituals, loves the sanctuary, but the instructions say he may not offer the bread or stand at the altar. He's not cast out. He still shares in the holy food. Yet his role shifts. His life says to the community, The one we serve is perfectly whole, and our public worship must display that wholeness, even while the broken still belong. Leviticus 21 reminds us that the Creator cares about both inclusion and representation. In our gatherings, we must make space for the weak, the wounded, and the visibly broken to belong and be fed. At the same time, those who publicly represent the Creator's character carry a weight to reflect His wholeness in their conduct. The question for us becomes, where am I called to humbly receive, and where am I called to visibly represent the Creator in a way that points to His completeness, not my own perfection? These physical standards are signs pointing beyond themselves. The Creator uses the unblemished priest at the altar as a living pointer to a perfectly whole mediator and a perfectly holy presence. At the same time, allowing the blemished priest to eat the holy food whispers another truth. Broken people can still live close to the sacred, even if they do not carry every public role. Leviticus 21 teaches that the broken still belong near the holy things, but the public approach to the altar must picture the Creator's wholeness, not our damage. Leviticus 21 shows that holiness is not just about avoiding obvious sins, it is about how those closest to the Creator carry grief, relationships, and even their visible presence in His service. We saw priests whose mourning and marriages had to look different because they bore the Creator's name in front of the people. We saw a high priest whose access to the inner presence narrowed his options more than anyone else's. And we saw that even physical wholeness at the altar was a sign of the Creator's complete holiness, while broken priests were still allowed to eat from his table. If this Leviticus 21 study stirred you, ask the Creator, where are you narrowing my options so that my life better matches the nearness you've given me? Thank you for joining. If this blessed you, like, share it with someone walking through the Holiness chapters, and subscribe so you don't miss the next step as we walk from Bereshit, Genesis, to Devarim, Deuteronomy. I'll leave another new SAX meditation as we let these words sink in. Shalom.